And now, stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball Podcast. Welcome back to this episode. This is the second part of a double header. If you haven't heard the first, go back and listen to it. If you can't be bothered, that's all right. Just keep listening to this one, and hopefully you enjoy it. And don't forget, like and subscribe.
Now, I've got written down here that you want to talk about ref lanyards.
Yes.
What is that?
This is just really to show you a picture, and I think this was something we brought up.
Oh.
When there was we were doing a live podcast.
Oh, okay.
And I said, in Australia, their referees, any referee who is under 18, they have a green. I think I said yellow on the day, but they have a green whistle
the same colour for you.
And a green lanyard. So it really stands out, especially with their black and white.
I think they should rock that all the time, just separately, just because that looks really cool.
Because I mean, I'm looking at those two, like kids, let's say, and I wouldn't necessarily say they're under 18.
No, not at all.
But if you were watching a game, someone would potentially, I'll use a Portsmouth slang here, get Larry to them. Because they don't look, I'd say they look 21, 22, if you ask me. But this is something that they're doing in Australia. Yeah. And I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea that a young referee can have a green whistle, a green lanyard, then every single person on that court understands that they're an aspiring ref and not to destroy their future potential in refereeing because of one game.
Complete arse.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I just want to show it to you because I've seen it a few times. And
to be 18 and to want to be a ref, to be under 18, should I point out, and to want to be a ref, fair play to them.
Yeah, and look, it's a lot. Sometimes when you go into
it's
an
a change.
Intimidating environment.
It's a change because let's be fair, playing all the games in youth and stuff, you wouldn't necessarily imagine that you would have gone into reffing, for example, given your pleasure and performance with some refs. And I might have told a few to kindly leave the building in a nice tone, but it's not something that we saw when we were younger, having young refs.
Yeah, you just turned up and went, they're the ref.
Just turned up and there's the ref. Whereas now it's like that's an option. And going back to what you were saying about BE and promoting coaching and promoting reffing and having that sort of stuff available, they've done great things with all of that. So, that's a massive credit to that infrastructure by knowing that you're 18, that you could go, we would have maybe even looked into, could you coach or could you ref or learn something like that when you were younger? Like, that looks interesting. Why not? We like the game. So it's good that they've got that exposure.
My advice to any player in the game would be, if it is an option,
kick them in the balls.
Excuse me. If it is an option, do your refereeing level 2 course. As a player, it is invaluable because you're learning the referee part of the game, and the referee part of the game is completely different to what you're doing as a player. Like, where does the referee stand? What is the referee looking for? What kind of contacts a referee looking for? It is invaluable bits of information that you can use. And we talked about age ago, psychological, like doing things to get that 1% edge on your opponent. Being a qualified referee gives you more than 1% on your opponent. And that is just my view on that is crystal clear. Kobe Bryant, Mark, learned to become a qualified referee because he then went, well, I know where the referees should be standing, so they should be standing here, so I know where I can go somewhere to get away with things. And I know where I can push my boundaries. I know he knew everything about what the ref should do. So I don't know. I just, now looking back, I think, wow, it's just invaluable to know that information. And also,
it's ultimately the rules of the game, isn't it? You're learning what the rules of the game are. Most people say, what's basketball? You get the ball, try not to punch someone, and you've got to put it in the hoop. You have to bounce it so many times. You can't run with it. You got to, and that's almost like the level of people's understanding of basketball. It stops there. So understanding, well, these are the actual rules, and if you get forward for a foul, that's why. And it's not just a simple, I just watch you punch that guy in the face. I think that's a foul. They're more.
I'll tell you what, I've got a great example. Of this, and this is why, being a ref is good.
Why is punching in the face a segue?
No, it was just something that popped in my head. Really good example is backcourt violation. Okay, I don't know what the current rules are because I've not refed in 2 years. So if I'm wrong now, okay, but
and these are BBL rules. These are the
NBL FIBA, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was 3 points of contact. So as you come from the back court into the front court, you need 3 points of contact. So you need both feet and the ball to come into the front court. And then if you go back, it's a back court. So I can bring my feet in and leave the ball in the back court and then walk back in the back court. I've not gone back court. Does that make sense?
What if the ball is forward and you are back?
Not back court.
Interesting.
It's three. That's the thing I always used to say to coaches. I'd be like, coach, he'd be like, that's back court. I went, coach, there's 3 points of contact to go back court. He's not transitioned from back court to the front court.
So people are taking it more like the football, where it has to go past the line.
Yeah, so the guy might have had a foot on, but the ball was still in the back court. So I'm like, well, he's not come over yet, so I'm not calling it. And people would be screaming. You'd be thinking, well, you don't know the rule. This is when someone says back court violation, it's fairly basic, I think.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if that's changed or not, but that's the one I remember. And the one that came up quite a lot, and I'd be thinking, why didn't anyone know the backcourt rule? I just think, as a player, are you telling me there's not a moment where you can use that to your advantage? I don't know. That's why I think it's if I was to say any player, get that string to your bow. You never know when it might help you.
Yeah. Imagine
saying to a referee calls backcourt, and you turn around and say, as a coach, that's 3 points of contact. That's crystal clear, isn't it?
Yeah, that is really, really clear.
The one thing I also would say, and I always think this with referees, I think the only thing I focus on referees now is consistency. As long as it's consistent, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. As long as they're consistent, it's fine. How to play, the level to play. And that's the other thing I learned as a ref, you don't know what they've seen. You're not at their angle. So even though you think that was the best rejection I've ever done, you're not seeing it from their angle, their perspective. So you might be coming over and stuff like that. So a lot of the time now with referees, it's like, I'll say to people, well, we can't see it from his angle. He must have seen something. He's seen something, and, just play the game. There you go. Green lanyards, Mark. I think
lanyards.
I think they should bring that in worldwide.
Yeah, definitely.
But this is in Australia, so green lanyards in Australia. I think that what a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I think that was really, really good. Congratulations to Australia for making an effort with young people.
You clapped and then stopped it.
Yeah, it only gets a small clap. It's not amazing.
Oh, I really need to lean back on my chair, but I know it's going to make noise.
Do it. That sounded worse, you making the exhale, than the creaking of your... I mean, it sounds like you're on an old-fashioned, boat, like a pirate ship. So I don't have any more BBL. But what I do have is... I'm going to say it, the Euro Cup. Caledonia Gladiators played Bilbao.
Is there
in France.
Is there a tumbleweed noise on there, Mark? Oh, look, my chair's... All it's doing is squeaking now.
I think there used to be one.
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do. Yeah. I don't think we need to go into it anymore. It was
bad day at the office.
It was, yeah. It wasn't their office. It wasn't a home game, so their home seasons remains untarnished.
Who were they playing?
They were playing Bilbao in Bilbao, and they lost.
Where's that?
France, Paul.
I was
and
just testing you. I knew that.
They lost spectacularly, 106 to 58. I don't we don't need to dwell on that. That's an absolute fisting, isn't it? There's no way around that. So better luck on your next game. But yeah, you got to bring it up because they are in the Euro Cup and they are a team playing in the Euro. So you can't win them all unless you're London.
I hope they take the pipers when they travel. Don't you think?
God.
That is a must.
Well, yeah.
Look, they've added the tartan. Now we've said it.
That yes.
I'd like real tartan though, but it's maybe as a weight issue. But I hope there's pipers there.
Right, we're going to move on. NBA.
Yes, is this me or you?
You first.
Well,
I got quite a few in the NBA here.
Oh God! Right, give me a buzzer, mate. Give me a buzzer.
A buzzer.
Oh, not that one, but that's all right. That's all right. Just I meant that one. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So
It's an air horn. It's not a buzzer.
huge trade news, Mark.
Yeah.
Huge trade news. James Harden has been traded to the LA Clippers. I think the Clippers are also receiving PJ Tucker.
Yep.
But this is the fourth team in 4 seasons for James Harden. What is it? Houston, Brooklyn, Philly, and now Clippers, and now LA.
Yep.
He's joining Paul George, Kawhi Leonard.
Don't you dare leave out Brody.
And he's been reunited
Good.
with Russell Westbrook,
I love Russ.
former teammate
I love him.
from OKC and Houston. Does that make you feel better now I said it like
I
that?
love him. I love Russ. I love his energy. Yeah, he has a few problems in his game, but the energy he brings and the stat, people say he's just a stat chaser, but he's busy and every team needs a Russ. They just put their body in it.
Well, this has been a 4-month saga, whatever it's been, 4-month saga. I mean, in fairness to James Harden, something I picked up on was the Philadelphia Sixers. I heard them saying that James Harden is very professional.
Yeah.
So they said throughout the whole process, even though whatever was going on, it was uncomfortable, they were saying he was a professional for the majority of, or the whole 4-month saga. Philly in return get 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. There's some other stuff. I'm not going to go into that, but
I've got the list here because I'm
Clippers will contend. Look, they're going to contend for a championship without James Harden.
Really?
They have now got the flexibility with James Harden, and there's a scorer that they could take advantage of. But my worry is, and I went and looked up the ages. Paul George, 33.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, 32. Russell Westbrook, 35. James Harden, 34.
Yep.
But they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
They're going to be in the playoffs. Let's see what happens. But that's huge news.
Do you know
James Harden.
Do you know what I hate about that? When they show the pictures, and this is a really OCD thing, but they show them Harden with his number, Russ Westbrook is number 0, yeah? Harden rocks number 1, I believe. Kawhi rocks number 2. Paul George is number 13. And I think their centre, totally forget your name. You're not that famous yet.
That's out of order.
He rocks number 40, right?
Yeah.
Why don't they put it in the order 0, 1, 2, 13, and then 40, and then put the numbers together so it looks like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? It's petty, but they always do it, and they put 0, and then you think, oh, they're going to do and then they put number 2, then number 1, and you're like,
Are you saying they've missed an opportunity for your OCD to be
just put it in order? It makes
calmed.
And if you do that, number 2's in the middle. That's Kawhi. It's like surely they. Anyway, I don't know why they don't do that. But I want to show you this picture that I saw. That it always makes me. You're saying about Philly.
Yeah.
That's their motto. Trust the process.
Oh yeah, the whole process is gone.
Yeah. Trust the process. Jimmy Butler gone. Ben Simmons gone. Harden
Gone.
Fultz
Gone.
Yeah. and they're still sticking by this trust. The only person left out of all of that is Embiid. Right. trust. I don't think the process is doing too well at the moment.
Wow. So, Mark, how do you think the Los Angeles Clippers are going to do this year with that addition?
I don't know.
They're going for glory.
They are going for it.
They got to go for it this season.
All I'll say is this: they when they got Kawhi, they were going for it because they got Kawhi and they got Paul George and Kawhi together. And it's like they were just taking turns at who's going to turn up for the game and who's not. They have got both of them got poor, not turnout, I guess. But for what
they were looking after their minutes and stuff like that. But that's what I was saying with James Harden. They have that flexibility now, so they can say, look, okay, have a break. James Harden comes in.
No, because they're saying starting four. They're saying it's going to be Russ, Harden, Paul George, Kawhi, and the center. Like they're saying that's your starting five, and you're like,
well,
I get, and that's just because it is their strong
you
five.
You could argue James
Clippers
Harden, he's going to
suck.
go from the 1 to the 2.
The Clippers,
because Russell
suck.
can run the point.
Clippers suck.
It's
they had Elton Brand. Clippers still sucked. They had Blake Griffin. Clippers still sucked.
I feel you're missing my point there, but
No,
that's all right.
They're the
That's all right.
No, I can see where you're going. Yeah, they've just built like a mini super team, but Russ.
Is it all or nothing for them this year?
Look, Russ.
Are they going to explode it?
Russ and James were on OKC. It was them two and Durant. What happened there? They didn't win anything. Then both of them went to Houston, and they had Paul George, and they had a couple of other decent players as well. What happened there? Nothing. Then Harden's on the Nets, arguably one of the best teams that anyone could have put together. You got Durant, you got Kyrie. What happened there? Nothing. It's just like, eh.
So you think nothing? You think are they going to get in the playoffs?
Yeah, they'll get in playoffs. Yeah.
Wow. Do you think they're going to get into the conference finals?
I don't think so.
Look, there's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams this year.
Look at what the Nuggets did. If you put on paper, you go, Aaron Gordon's a great defender and obviously an incredible dunker. Points wise, he's okay. And then you look at Murray. He has been inconsistent as a player. Joker was the only real solid guy on the team. But then as a team, they came together and they just beat people consistently because they were a great team. You like Orlando. Orlando as a team are a great team. They play really well as a team. They're really consistent together. They really play well, nicely. They've got great ball movement. They've got great camaraderie. When you put all these super team sort of things together, everyone likes to look at the Twin Towers or the key three, like when you have the picture of Rodman, Jordan and Pippen and those sort of things. That's fine. Arguably you had that with when LeBron was in Miami, I think, with him and Wade. And then they had various supporting casts along the way to make them up. But I don't see it myself. I think I argue that bigger trades are Dame Lillard going to Milwaukee. That's still probably the biggest trade. Because although Hardman's great,
yeah, that is a good trade.
That's a great trade. But they lost Drew Holiday, and Drew went to Celtics, and he's been playing like an absolute monster.
Yeah, they're looking all right.
Yeah, and
but that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of teams that are looking all right
in the NBA.
I will go as far as to say I think the playoffs this coming season. I mean, I know it's a long way away.
Yeah.
But I think the playoffs.
Well, I've got the standings.
I think
right here.
I mean, that's really. We're 4 games in. We're really on. But the playoffs coming up, I think, are going to be so exciting.
But it's really
just
good
look at these teams: Dallas, Golden State,
Dallas, and
world champions, Denver. Oh, hang on. I said world champions.
Oh dear.
American champions.
That is on their ring as well.
American champions.
Yeah.
Denver. Who else we got?
But it's worth saying 4-0.
Celtics.
That's Boston, Celtics, and the Mavs.
Bucks.
I've got to be pleased about that.
I mean,
Orlando in the play-in. Can't argue with that. They've had a cut.
Phoenix, Lakers.
Who's at the bottom? Bottom of the East. Miami Heat.
Wow.
1 for 4. I mean, that was the one that surprised me. A couple of these others, like looking at Washington and stuff and Charlotte, you think,
I think it was Ryan Payne who said on the podcast that he didn't think Miami deserved to be there, was it? He said something like that.
yeah,
And look, they're now bottom, so his words have come true.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at that like I would have thought maybe in the play-in for sure. But when you're looking at Detroit, New York, Cleveland, and Orlando are above Miami, it's like, what happened there? Where's the? And anyone who follows it, I'm not going into the games and the stats, so you can all watch. I don't want to ruin anything. But this is just giving you guys a feel for where everyone is.
Yeah, you can do an entire podcast just on the NBA. But Mark, I was a little disappointed when you were talking about all the great points of the Orlando Magic. You didn't mention Stuff, arguably the greatest mascot in the world.
He is arguably the greatest mascot
in the world, Mark.
Yeah,
let alone
I would
in
go
the
as
NBA.
far as to say that.
You didn't even mention him.
So, no, I didn't. But I do want to mention someone else.
Oh, who's that?
And it's someone I don't normally mention. LeBron. Season 21. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan in the world, but I can respect the fact that he spends so much money and so much time on his fitness and staying fit, and his basketball knowledge is no question about it.
Who's played the most? Is it Vince Carter? I know Vince Carter just retired on 22, was it?
Yeah.
And is that the most? Or, I don't know. It was the most.
I think it was, yeah. He wants to get that. But he has just scored the most for any player in their 21st year. 35 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 3-pointers. And he's 39 next week.
I mean, longevity.
Did you see the alley-oop that he did?
No.
It's like someone just threw him the ball. There you go, Austin Reeves. It's like, there you go, flick that up. Boom, Tom Hawk dunk. You think,
wow.
You're 39 next week. And he's 6'9". He's built. His body must be like, please, can you stop doing this?
I think, I don't know how many other NBA players do it, but he spends a lot of money on his body.
It's almost $1 million. Check out this dunk.
Oh, here's the dunk. Here we go. Anthony with the ball. Fast break. Oh, yeah. Throws up. That's right. That's right.
It's just walking the park stuff for him, isn't it?
It is. But he looks after his body from day one.
Absolutely.
I mean, what was it? It's millions on his body, isn't it?
It's about $1 million a year that he just spends just on his body looking after it.
And, you got to give him credit for the longevity of
have to give him
anyone
a shout for
in
that. Lakers aren't going to do that well.
He's got to be getting 40,000 at some point, isn't he? What is he on now?
I don't know his points. I have no idea.
He's got to be getting close to 39,000.
I know that
this season, I think he'll get 40 this year.
I think the big one was Clay moved up this week into the top 10 for shooting threes. Clay Thompson for hitting game threes, but
okay.
There's he's going to get a few more stats, I think, this season. Just looking at the moment, Lakers are 3-2, so sitting around 5th place in the Western Conference. That's all right. It's not a bad start for the Lakers, considering they're the Lakers. I
don't want to do your cookies. Jeez.
The good old NBA. Good old NBA website.
Where is it?
Can't go wrong, can you?
So he's currently 38,775. He's hitting 40. If he's fit, he's hitting 40 this year.
Yeah. But I just wanted to give it a mention, really, because I say I'm not the biggest fan. Some of the things he has done and said, and the way people, the fact that, say, Harden can be like a giant baby, not turn up for practice, and people fine him and all that sort of stuff. LeBron has set some of that precedent by giving players quite a lot of power. Shaq is one of the biggest ones proponents who that actually came from, that people don't realise. And obviously it was the Larry Bird rule that created players getting these massive salaries and therefore leveraging the teams. So I do have a problem with that, because I think that spoils quite a lot of the game, where you get players allowed to write, I want to rest in certain games and all that sort of thing. I think, that's a shame. But
he's on reduced minutes now, I think, LeBron, isn't he? He's on 28 minutes.
No,
that's what I read.
He just played 39 minutes in that last game.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He is BS then, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's putting. They said they're trying to reduce his minutes, but it's like.
What is he saying? I'm staying in.
No, it's because Anthony Davis is playing like crap, so he's stepping up and actually doing it. Like I would say, 37 points.
Do you think he's waiting for fifth ring, then going, right, I'm done?
Of
Or
course.
is he waiting to play with his son? Like, I've heard a few.
Wouldn't it be amazing to play with your son if you had the opportunity? Of course you would want to do that. And he has got a lot of influence in basketball.
But would you play with your son in a
he's 39.
lower end team?
He's 39. He's getting 35 points, 11 rebounds and 7 assists. He is still a massive force on the game.
But look at Jordan. I'm not doing a whole LeBron Jordan thing, but look at Jordan. He quit after a three-peat. I mean, I know he came back in for the Washington Wizards, but he quit on a three-peat. Is it best to quit when you're at the top?
He did that twice. He did a three-peat,
but
then quit.
What I'm saying is, it best to quit when you're at the top of the mountain?
Yeah, but he's not on top of the mountain.
Are you going to fade out? Look at Vince Carter. He was getting what? How many minutes was he getting? Like
10 minutes.
8 minutes, 10 minutes.
I think the average. There was
7 points.
Well, there was one I read out a few weeks back. I saw, and it was Vince and those players were getting about 11 to 12 minutes a game, like Dirk, and they would get that 11 to 12 points maybe a game, and that sort of thing. LeBron's hitting like 28 points average a game, and he's getting at least 28, 30 minutes a game, like as an average. So you got to respect him.
I think it was. I want to say. I think it was a famous footballer. Maybe it was Steven Gerrard said, "I want to walk away from the game before the game walks away from me." So I want to walk away before I'm looking poor on the field. I think it was him anyway.
It's the. I think it was Roger Moore, the actor, the James Bond actor. He said, "You don't retire as an actor. You just stop getting phone calls."
Oh,
and you're like, whoa, okay, he's like, yeah, I'm 70, or he was 80 or whatever at the time, living, and he was like, yeah, you just don't get the phone calls anymore. You hit a peak, and then people stop going, hey mate, do you want to be in a film? You think, oh, that's rough. People just stop asking.
Yeah,
but it is that same prevalent, isn't it? They've got a certain stop clock, and ultimately, he's not in his 40s. Vince and Dirk were in their 40s when they quit.
Well,
so. Yeah, but the thing that Vince, I think, has that no other player had that I can recall was that he's played in 3 decades. So he played in the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
So technically, it's 3 decades of basketball that he covered, because he covered the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s.
And LeBron came in from high school as well.
2023. Yeah.
So,
but he's 2023.
Yeah.
2010s and 2020. So he's
but what
done
I'm
the
saying,
same.
his longevity, as far as NBA is,
yeah.
he had those extra high school years.
Yeah, he did.
Not college years.
Yes, he did. He had those college years. But
right.
yeah, that was my interesting thing there. So I've got 2 more things to show you.
Oh God.
Yeah, these are good. Right, first off, I'm going to show you these. They're called the City Edition uniforms. Have you seen them?
What's that?
So apparently Nike are doing these City Edition uniforms for some
for the NBA.
Yeah, for some of the NBA teams.
Oh,
you
nice.
swipe over and have a little look at some of them. I don't know what to make of them.
Like quite retro, aren't they?
Yeah, they're kind of retro. A lot of people hate them. There's a lot of hate for them.
I love them. They look really cool. Some are better than others.
Well, it brought me to a point of there's every team.
What's that one? That's like Morse code, that one there.
Which one? Show.
That one. That one there.
Oh, Memphis, I'm guessing.
Oh, Mem. Okay. That's supposed to be. No, it looks great.
But I know we like a bit of aesthetic, so that led me on to
the Orlando one's just like the old kit.
Yeah,
it's it's exactly like the old.
So they
could have done better on that one.
You will have seen this because we posted it on our Instagram, and if none of you listening are not looking at our Instagram, why not get your bum onto Instagram, check out our stuff. We're constantly posting on there.
Very cool.
Did you see the play-in tournament that starts? Because they've got a little play-in tournament.
My chair's so squeaky.
It's the old treasure chest chair. These are the actual courts.
I saw that. Yeah. Well, I saw you post that. What is it?
So these are there's going to be a play-in tournament in the NBA, and there's going to be like a cup tournament. So they're going to have special.
Sorry, this is cup competition now.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's officially happening this year.
Yeah. Look, in-season tournament courts for 30 teams. So these are the in-season tournament. Yeah.
What? So they got an FA Cup?
It sounds like it. Yeah.
What is that official, or are they just saying here are the courts? Because
No, they've made these courts because what was really funny is they've announced all this, and out of all the ones I liked, the best one was Kevin Durant. Someone showed him a picture of that, and they went, "Here's the courts that you're going to be playing on." If you look at all of them, you think, "Oh, they're not too bad." And he'd obviously seen which one was it? that one. For the Pelicans, and he's like, a purple court, that's dope. He's like, we get a pay on that? That's amazing. You think, yeah, it is, because look, how cool are some of these courts?
Very retro, aren't they? It's like, yeah.
That's the Magic one. I don't know if I like that.
It's all right.
I could have done
all right. It's unique.
There, that's the one. Look, Phoenix Suns. So his team is going to be playing on purple with the blue, and he's like, man, that's amazing. We get a purple court. He's like, and so many people are like, why are they not doing this? Now, I don't know if you remember, roll right back to the bubble in the NBA, and everything was in Disney, wasn't it?
Mm.
And so to decipher all the teams, they all had different courts. I don't know if you remember. Vaguely. Everyone had their own like little court sort of thing, scenario to play on. So it's a bit like this, how they've done it. And I think that's maybe where they've taken this thing from. But some of these courts look really,
nice.
really cool.
Mark, I think
But it goes back to that aesthetic of...
Before we talk about any of this, we need to find out if they've got an FA Cup, because we're talking about cup courts. And
The inaugural NBA in-season tournament will tip off with a group play Friday, November the 3rd in the NBA markets. The single elimination knockout rounds begin with the quarterfinals December the 4th and 5th, played in team markets.
quarterfinals.
Yep, that's
So
what it's saying.
16 teams.
Yep.
What? So how do they? There's more than 16 courts there.
Well, look, here we go.
There's 30 courts there.
Yes.
But 2, 3, 4. That's. I know. That's 30 courts. So it can't be
here we go.
quarterfinals.
In-season tournament group previews. East, West. You got 3 groups.
Oh. Oh, I see. So those top 2 teams get into the quarterfinals or something like that.
So
Okay.
the Western Conference, Group A, Grizzlies, Suns, Blazers, Lakers, Jazz. Group B, Nuggets, Pelicans, Mavs, Clippers,
I missed
and Rockets.
this. I missed this boat, Mark.
Warriors, Wolves, Thunder, Kings, and Spurs in Group C.
I think we should stop there and we do a whole segment on that next time. Yeah,
We'll do a whole segment on
That's
this.
a great one.
But-
Are we calling it the NBA FA Cup?
NBA FA Cup, why not? But there's loads of
What are they calling it?
the in-season tournament. That's what it's called.
That is terrible.
And there's the cup, but that's the cup for it there.
Like, why don't they call it like? Oh, I don't know.
Did you not know about this?
No, I didn't know about it. Just call it. Couldn't they call it what? The NBA? Well, the NBA Cup.
That's why they're calling it the in-season tournament, and that's what the thing
That's
is.
so American. Hey, we're playing the in-season tournament. Like,
Yeah,
call
and-
it the NBA Cup.
That's
done.
why they have a cup. But that's why all those pictures on the.
I wonder what the trophy looks like. Mark, this is a segment for next time.
You wonder why I just showed you. That is the trophy. This is the trophy. That's why it's on the court.
Oh, I see.
So it's clever how they've made it into the
I
actual
see.
into the free throw. But that's the trophy. It
You
looks
know
like
what they should do?
looks like a World Cup. I'm just saying.
It's fine. But you know what they should do?
Could they be world champions?
NBA champions take on the NBA in-season tournament champions.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
the NBA complete championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to round it out,
What's that? It's called the charity shield. We called that the charity
Charity
shield.
Shield, I think we call it, don't we? Well, we used to call it the
that'd
milk.
be good.
We used to call it the Milk Cup. Just saying.
But the
Champion of champions. Only the champion of champions does the Milk Cup.
That's great. We'll do another set. Let's do some research well,
Well, I've got all the stuff written on it, but we'll do that for the next segment. Here's another thing. I'm going to finish on. No, I'm going to finish on this. Who the tallest player in the league is at the moment? Wembanyama. Yeah, and pretty much everything on the league is about him, but he's not. He's actually the same height as Boban. Bowman, Mav for life. He's playing for Houston at the moment, but they're both 7'4", and then you've got Bol, who's 7'3". So, who's the smallest player in the league?
currently. No idea, Mark.
Marcus Noel. He's 5'7".
Marcus Noel, yeah.
And next to him is Jacob Gilead, who's 5'8".
Yeah.
I wonder if they actually are 5'7" and 5'8", because a lot of the players sometimes have an inch or so either way, maybe here or there. You go, if you're the small guy, you're like, yeah, just put on 5'8".
Chuck on 2 inches.
Please give me those 2
2
inches.
make a big difference.
But do you know the average height of an NBA player? What would you say?
I guess 6'4".
6'6.5".
Okay.
And the average weight is 215 pounds.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oldest player.
16 stone.
Yep. The oldest player is now LeBron, 38 days. 38 years, 298 days. And PJ Tucker is also one of the oldest, along with Chris Paul. They're all 38 as well. And you got Kyle Lowry on 37. You've got quite a few old ones, but the youngest is 18. Gigi Jackson II. 18,
Legend.
18 years old, and he's 19 in December.
Yeah.
How about that? So the final one was who is the oldest team, like as an average age.
Who is the oldest team? Are we including teams that have been traded and all that? And
Yeah, so oldest, we're talking in age groups, so the oldest team by like median age sort of thing.
I'm gonna guess and say, is it a current name? Or is it, are you gonna say like the
Which
Minneapolis
teams?
Lakers or something?
No, yeah, current teams.
I'm gonna go for New York.
As the oldest.
I'll say my guess.
No, hang on.
New York.
I think you're getting confused. I'm not saying the oldest as in their franchise age. I'm talking all of the players' ages combined and then an average of them. The oldest average ages.
Oh, I don't know.
To give you an idea between the youngest and the oldest teams.
I'll go for the LA Clippers because we talked about them.
Yeah, no, the Bucks.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Bucks, apparently the oldest.
Oh, they have got.
And then right next to them is the Clippers, then the Warriors, and then the Suns. And then you go further and further down, whereas youngest teams, San Antonio, Oklahoma, Charlotte, Portland, and Orlando. They're some of the youngest teams. Like Orlando's average age is like 24, whereas the others are like more like 28, 29. It's interesting when you see that, and when you see where they are, all of the dominant teams are all in the older age brackets. All of the up-and-coming teams, or the fresher teams, more energetic maybe, they're all the younger teams. So there's definitely a split between those age groups.
Well, I would also go as far as say the West looks devastating at the moment.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Well, hang on, you say that, but you've got Milwaukee, who are in the East.
Boston.
Yeah. Boston are 4-0.
Yeah.
Milwaukee are doing great.
Yeah, that's 2.
But that's about it.
Exactly. Now look at the West, and you look at it. It's
yeah, I mean,
I think
yeah, you look at
look at that.
You got 76. No, you don't got 70. Atlanta's in third.
Dallas, Golden State, Denver,
It's not.
Lakers, Clippers,
Well,
Suns.
how interesting is East versus West this year? Because they proudly announced they're doing East versus West in the All-Star game, didn't they?
It's
And everyone was like, they said, we're going to go back to something that's classic. You mean, okay, so you're going to go back to the thing that everyone wanted. Because it was utter tripe.
You know what? I hope there becomes a rivalry between two players where they just genuinely don't like each other in the NBA, and those two guys go East and West. Because at the moment, like when you get like 146 for against 144,
Yeah.
and guys are running in to dunk it and they're getting out their way. Yeah, great dunk.
They're getting rid of all of that.
What is
that
the
fourth
point?
quarter nonsense. They're getting rid of it. It's gone back to a proper game, East versus West.
I would go
That's
as far as say put players who want to win the game rather than
That's what they're doing.
Hey, I'm gonna
The
get
whole idea is
LeBron in.
it's grudge match. Yeah, it's
Have
all
a
about
good game.
And if you look at it that way, you've got Philly, you've got Boston, you've got Brooklyn, even you've got Milwaukee, you've got a couple of other people on some other teams in the East, enough to make a really tasty thing. On the West, it's actually harder because you've got a lot of solid players. Who do you cut? Because you can only have so many. So that actually makes it harder. You're going to get your Lucas and your Stephs on those sort of thing, but then who else you're going to miss out like half of these teams basically. You're going to like, oh, sorry, we're not going to have Durant on there because we want someone from the Lakers. Like, don't know. So I've got a question for our audience based on that All-Star game. The one thing that people are asking about this All-Star game, that's a nice way to end on this, is East versus West. They used to do, you had a separate kit, an East kit and a West kit. Then for I think 1 or 2 years,
It was like sometimes it was blue and red and
Yep.
white and red.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that, wasn't it?
yeah, blue and red.
Yeah, and it had like a star on it somewhere.
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
But then I think it's 1 or 2, can't remember which years it was, so anyone knows, correct us. They allowed them to wear their own kit.
Yeah,
So-
they did that for couple of years, I think.
Exactly. So when it was a case of, you wore your white kit and then you wore your coloured kit. So then that way you knew who was on your team. If you're wearing...
You wore your home kit. One team wore the home kit, one wore the away
one
kit.
Exactly. And
the home's always white, isn't it? So
it was, and then they've changed quite, some of them are a bit...
So what are they doing? Are they going back to the...
That I don't know. I think they may have announced it, but it might have been lost in the translation somewhere. But I want to know what everyone wants to do. Because I think bring back the ones where everyone wears their own kit. Because I think that's better, because you get to see all the kits running around. I don't like a red versus blue.
I like the West and East kits, if I'm honest.
You do?
Sorry, my chair's really squeaky where I'm holding a position. I quite like there's a white kit and it says East on it, and then a red kit that says West on it. I quite like that.
I mean, the NBA will like that because it's more merch. They get to sell more stuff.
Well, maybe I'm just thinking it from a player's perspective. I'm like, right, I've got my All-Star jersey. I've got it's my All-Star jersey. Whereas...
Well, what if they had their own home kit, but they get an extra logo on theirs that means that they were in the All-Stars?
Yeah.
Like a star on your shirt, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because then it separates your kit from everyone else's on your team.
It's like...
So when you're playing on the team and you're back in the team, it's like, yeah, I'm the All-Star because I've got my little star here.
But it's like playing for your country and then someone saying, oh yeah, just wear your home NBA kit. You go...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You wear your home kit, but you have a star on it. And you're like, I'm an All-Star.
Yeah.
And then
that's not a bad idea.
Because then the rest of the season...
Well, Mark, what's the email? ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com.
Congratulations. It's only taken you 30 episodes.
Mark, before we finish this episode, have you got any closer to people emailing you in yet?
No. We're edging. We're edging ever closer.
Are you going to say who's in the lead at the moment?
At the moment, it's the people who want me to buy basketball kits from them. They've sent the most emails to me.
Right. So...
why is it that I get spammed for basketball kits?
Oh, it's stupid, isn't it? I get CCTV all the time.
It's like, hey...
It says, because you're announcer of the Portsmouth Force, would you like to us to help you with your CCTV? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, they're saying as me, we can get your basketball team a kit. I don't have a basketball team, but we can get a kit for you and we can make them for you. Fantastic. Good luck with that. I'm not interested.
Go away.
Yeah. And then you get like another 10 emails from them the next day. Are you still interested?
So you haven't got a team yet then? No one's got it. I might just spam you.
You can spam me, but I am getting closer to some decisions myself.
Wow. Well, let's maybe do let's see what happens next week if you get any more.
Yes, I would like emails. We want emails. I mean, I think it's a nice way to end the show, if I'm honest. But I do want emails generally because I think we'd like to hear more from people out there.
And what the content? What do you want to talk us about?
Yeah,
you tell us. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, well, within reason. I'm not going into like.
Mark, if I know our viewers, I know they want us to talk about badminton lines and the poor situation where badminton, the sport, takes over the basketball courts.
I did see that.
It's horrendous.
I did see that video of the court you reminded me, by the way. That one where they press the button and the lines disappear and stuff. Yeah,
like a TV court. And that's good because as a badminton player, you can walk on and go, look at this beautiful, purest badminton court just for me.
Yeah, but would you not then go into the program and just delete the profile for badminton?
Yes.
So they're like, sorry, it won't load. It's just got to stay there.
Look, the last thing I'm going to say, Mark, I think we should question badminton as a sport.
As a sport?
As a sport.
Wow.
I'm out.
On that note, thank you very much for staying with us and listening to another edition of the Talking Basketball podcast. If you haven't listened to our previous episodes, go back and check them out. We've got at least 31 now sitting out there. We'd love to hear from you. So as Paul said, ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our Instagram, Talking Basketball Podcast, and hit us up, DM us. We've got plenty of people coming up in the next episodes, haven't we, Paul?
Yes, but I want confirmation first, but yes.
We have got lots of things, so keep tuning in. Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to hand over to Paul. Thank you and good night.
Boom!